Welcome back to the session. Welcome back, and just wave or say a hi or a hello so that I can know that you all are here and I'm visible to you all, right? So if I'm visible to you all, just give me a wave, a hi, a hello. And if the course is streamed, you can check the class. If you are able to see the session, just give me a hello there, right? Okay, so hello Abid, how? So I that means I am visible, yes, and my session is visible to you all. Welcome Abid, welcome to the class once again, and we are talking about strategies today. So in the first session also I discussed strategies, right? We discussed a few things. We discussed what things you should be doing as an aspirant of IELTS. What are the things that you should keep in mind while preparing for the examination, right? Okay, so going further on the same thing, if you know me, I am Manisha Angre, and going further, hello Abid, hello Jagdish, hello Kanchi, welcome. Okay, so going on further with what we were discussing, that what are the strategies that you should be taking. Of course, these are the common strategies that we are talking about on this platform today. We are not talking about the individual modules, right? So for the individual modules, you need to come for the class, right? So this is just a glimpse of what we do in the class or what our class is going to be like. So remember me once again, Manisha Angre, and we discussed about the code, which I will be again discussing in this session. But just a second, for that, let me tell you that my name is Manisha Angre, as you have already attended a few sessions of mine, and Angre, that is what you need to remember. That is the code that you need to apply when you take a subscription, when you buy a subscription on Unacademy. Okay, let's great. And it is, great to see you all guys on the subscription that is bought, because as I said, you must join an institute, you must have a mentor who can guide you through things, a mentor who can give you the feedbacks of everything. So I'm here to guide you all, and that is what the entire idea of having these classes to you all, bringing all of these down to you all on YouTube is. Okay, so the next important thing is that you will learn vocabulary. Of course, that becomes extremely crucial that you have a command on vocabulary, because as you know that the writing and the speaking task, they judge you or they assess you on one of the areas, that is lexical resource, which means vocabulary. And vocabulary does not come just in a day, right? As I mentioned in the previous session, that to learn vocabulary, you will have to do it regularly and every day. You cannot just learn a word today and after 10 days then you revise a word, you may not recall it. So that has to be something that comes in through consistency and practice. Okay, so as my other example do you remember where you went last Monday, or do you remember what time did you have your lunch, do you remember what time you had your dinner, or do you remember what dress you were wearing? Maybe yes, some of you might remember what you were wearing, but of course it may take you a while to recall what you ate and what time you had it, right? So that is the same with vocabulary, that you need to recall. You may recall, but it will take you some time. That is what we do not have for the examination, because the time is quite limited, and you cannot ask the interviewer, oh just wait, I am thinking about a word, or you can do not tell, okay wait, I have this word in my mind but I'm not able to recall it, so let me just write another word and just go on, right? You can do that, but then you're not going to score for vocabulary the way you should, right? So the important thing is that you learn vocabulary regularly. So what you do for that, you can make your sticky notes, you can use your sticky notes, paste them on your laptops, on your desk, on your dressing table. Okay, if you go to the shower, if you have a mirror, maybe you can put it over there, and if you work more in the kitchen, you can also put them on the fridge or some other areas, or on your wardrobes or your cupboards or somewhere where, or if you are working at your desk, right? So all of these places, paste your sticky notes or have a handy notebook. Or what you can do is you can also record these in your voice, in your own voice, and listen to them every time. So every time you do that, you will be able to do it, or you will recall them, you will learn them, and you will be able to use them frequently and easily. So that's the idea of learning vocabulary. Okay, so make sure you do that well and start using them. Next is, of course, one very important thing is that you stay positive throughout your preparation and throughout your test. Maybe you have prepared very well, but if you're nervous during your examination, it doesn't help, because then you tend to become stressed out, and of course you may not be able to attempt the way you should have. Or do not, I would give you a piece of advice, do not listen to each and everything that is available out there, because some things are all personal in nature. What is true for you may not be true for the other, or what was true for them may not be true for you. So listen genuine advices. So have a guide, have a mentor who can guide you through, and then stop listening to all the other advices that keep coming. Yes, flashcards. Yes, Abid, flashcards are also very interesting way of learning vocabulary. So if you can make flashcards, or if you can have flashcards on your certain apps, you can do that, right? So stay positive and prepare for the test. Do not just don't panic. There is no need to panic. Even if you are from a vernacular background, that does not mean that is going to spoil your score, because there are certain scores that you're definitely going to get. The only difficulty is crossing the barrier. If you all need 6.5 or above, so you might be right now at 5 or 5.5, but you have to cross that barrier and that barrier. So when you are already at 5 or 5.5, that means that you know English. It's not that you don't know. Without knowing it, you could not have even scored 5 or 5.5. The only thing is that you work on yourself to the extent that you are able to cross that barrier which is required, right? So stay positive, stay happy, and do not let any anxieties come around you. You all know it. You just need the right strategy and the right tricks and tips to solve these questions. Yes. Next is watch English songs. That is a must for any person who's applying for any English speaking examination, be it IELTS, TOEFL, PTE, or be it GRE, SATs, everything. I say that wherever all of these, especially IELTS and PTE, I would suggest that watch English movies, shows, and listen only to English songs. That is very important, because it will put you into the habit of listening to words, listening to different accents, and listening to native speakers. Exactly. And that is what you will be hearing. That is what you will be watching. Like, people will be speaking in that tone only. So make sure that you watch a lot of English shows. Yes, there are wonderful shows. I've only been to Abid, but I know that you have a wonderful language skills. Though you come from any school, you have a wonderful language skill. And I'm sure that if you're looking forward to do IELTS, you are a person who can still score 8.5. Yes. Yes, because I know Abid personally. Yes. And watch English movies and listen to English songs. That is what I'm saying. Now see what I like watching, right? I just don't go randomly and watch anything, but I make sure that whatever I watch, I watch quality things, right? So for example, let me tell you that this show on YouTube is available to everyone, and I'm sure it will be available to everyone around you wherever you are. And I like watching it. It's a travel show. It's by Rick Steves's Europe. It's all about Europe. But the thing is, he uses marvelous sentence structures, and he's a native speaker. Thirdly, he uses wonderful vocabulary. So that gives you an idea about how you can talk about obviously buildings, architecture, cities, and landscapes and everything. So Rick Steves's Europe is one of the wonderful shows that I like to watch on YouTube. So I'm just very picky about what I choose to watch and listen to. So if I'm not watching, I make sure if I'm not watching, I keep my phone on and I keep listening to the way he speaks. So it is what so even if I'm not watching, he creates that image right in front of me. So I don't need to, just even have a look at the picture. So that is the next thing. So watch English movies and listen to English songs. Next thing is read English books and newspapers. So that was about listening and watching skills. So now you also need to develop a good reading skill because of the reading section. And students who really need to put efforts in reading section is through reading books. So as I said that you have to give ample of time for you to prepare. So in that you have to include that you make a habit of reading books. For example, you can start with certain small books, certain small English books, and then you can move on to the other books like The Rich Dad and The Poor Dad is something that you all should be reading. Then yes, of course, if I'm talking about the Indian people, they might be starting with Chetan Bhagat. There's no harm in starting from Chetan Bhagat because it brings you into the realm of reading, and then you can slowly and steadily move on to other writers as well. So read that and go to a good library, get some good books. You can read books like, even you can read any genre, but it should be it should not be a children like book, but then something that is made for the mature public. So read thriller books. You can read, I said John Grisham is a good author you can start reading on if you want to start your reading for. And if you like thrillers, you can read things like Percy Jackson's, you can read Rick Riordan's books, you can read Hunger Games. These are all my favorite books and I like reading them. So I'm just suggesting them to you. And of course, then I will be then going forward. So you can read other newspapers, like of course you can start with the Times of India. Okay, now a suggestion to all those who come from other non-English speaking backgrounds or schools and they have not studied English that way, they find reading English newspapers tough. But it is not about just understanding. First of all, just make a habit. You have to just read it. So at least out of 100%, you will be able to get 30% or 40%, right? So that 30% and 40% that you have been able to recollect or collect or understand or comprehend, whatever you want to say, that will then give you a boost of reading the rest of the newspaper, right? And once you get into the habit of reading it, you may not have a difficulty later on. So it's all about developing a habit. And take regular mocks. It's crucial that you give mocks regularly, right? So your mocks give mocks from various sources. Of course, take help of your guides, your mentors. They will guide you through on what kind of mocks you should be giving, and take them regularly, analyze them, and understand where you had to in this particular mock, what was it that you could not understand and therefore you got it incorrect, if it's for listening and reading. And if it is for writing and speaking, what was that the topic that you did not know anything about, or were you nervous, or what was it that you were not able to work on a particular area? So that goes on for reading, listening, writing, and speaking. So after every mock, analyze your mocks. It's crucial that you analyze your mocks. Yes, exactly. So these were the strategies for today. And once again, to my subscription page, if you like the class today and if you plan to once again, give enough time. So 3 months is ideal. From there on, you should be taking you should be buying a subscription. 1 month is for only those who have a limited days of preparation, and which I don't suggest. Basically, only if you have done it earlier and you just want to work on a certain area, only then this is what I would ask you to go for. Otherwise, you can go in for anything. Now, as you see, that's a 3-month program costs you 6,750, right? So 6,750 is the cost. But when you apply the code ANGRE Angre, what happens is that you get a 10% discount and it reduces to 6,075. So almost around 700 rupees of discount, right? That you get only by using my code ANGRE Angre. So next time, make sure that you use a code and buy the subscription. examination, right? And you remember my code as well. Okay, so follow me on Telegram if you have more queries regarding the examination or about Unacademy, how to take a subscription on Unacademy. If you want to know more on that, you can text me on Telegram @ Manisha_Angre is my ID, and I'll see you there. Yes, so let's crack it. And this is the end of this year. So from me, a very happy new year, and make good resolutions for 2020. Make a resolution that you're going to prepare well, you are going to buy the subscriptions, you are going to prepare well and appear for the examination and get flying colors in your examinations, right? So that is the idea for 2020. That is the resolution I have taken for all my students, that I'm going to make them all crack the examination with 7 or more bands. So a very happy new year. Let's crack it and see you in the next year, that is 2020. Till then, take care.